Okay, folks, thank you for tuning in to Marion County Hardball on the Marion County Messenger. Before we get into tonight's episode, I want to thank all of our listeners. The last interview we did has reached almost 15,000 views, and I appreciate y'all tuning in, appreciate you listening, and I appreciate your comments. Tonight, we are here with Tom Hudson, and we're going to get started with him and let him talk. But before we do, I wanted to remind everybody that anyone that is running for office and would like to be interviewed on Marion County Hardball, please message me. And that goes for Marion County as well as the surrounding counties. If you're in Jackson County or Grundy County and you're running for office, you'd like to get on, just shoot me a message. And with that, I am going to hand off to Rick.
Tom Hudson.
Sir, yes, sir.
So we're here tonight. You have an announcement for our listeners?
Yes, sir. I would like to run for Marion County Mayor as a Republican, conservative, Christian candidate. I've been to Marion. My mother's a Graham, so we've been in Marion County for eons, and my father's a Hudson, and we're up and down the valley. You probably know a few of us, and maybe that's good news. But I am running for Marion County Mayor in the next election.
Now, what's the Woodard side?
My grandmother was a Woodard. That's Chester Powell here in South Pittsburgh. Chester Powell was her sister. Aunt Myrtle, as we called her, was Chester Powell's wife. There's Woodards, and Johnny Woodard was a big, worked as I think the factory manager at Lodge Manufacturing a long time ago. Yeah, we're both sides of the valley.
Okay. Well, if you could real quick, since we're literally talking about a job, if you can go through your qualifications, your history, work history, things of that nature, and then maybe towards the end of your qualification aspect, give us a little insight as to what you plan on doing as mayor.
Okay. I'll start off by saying I went to Whitwell High School. I graduated from Whitwell High School a long time ago, long ago and far away. I had a scholarship to go to college. I went to Arizona State University and had a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. Since then, I've worked in the semiconductor industry for many years, finishing my career at Intel Corporation, working on computer chips. I had postgraduate work at MIT, not for a degree program, but for a learning program as paid for by my corporation. I have worked every job in the world, but since I've been here, I got to be a substitute teacher at Richard Hardy for a short period of time, and I worked as an adjunct professor at Chattanooga State. And since then, we've been working with my son here to open up a firearms shop here in South Pittsburgh. Before that, we did CNC machining on aluminum extrusions. What else did you want?
Well, if you can give us an idea of what you're seeing in the county, why you're running for mayor would be a great question.
I came to Marion County, and my people have been here for years, so we've been here in the 60s, 70s. I needed Marion County as a young man more than Marion County needed me. Marion County was a good thing for me. With my family here and everything, I met Jesus Christ at Dawes Baptist Church a long time ago, 1977. I want to be in Marion County because I'm seeing changes in Marion County that frankly alarm me. There's two areas of... That's okay, go ahead.
I apologize.
These things happen.
We're Rick Brandt, just so you know.
Yeah.
You want me to give out your phone number?
I'll give it to you. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I like I said, I have become concerned. There's two areas of concern. One is in this building here, I saw my property taxes go up 135% at our last tax. And I went down to the county because I'm kind of a bad person, I guess, and I said, why did my property tax go up 135% here in South Pittsburgh? And they said, geez, we can't really tell you that. The people who voted for that aren't here. We don't know. But basically, we need the money. between you and me, I need the money too, right? But what really burdened my heart is my father's 85 years old. He's on a fixed income, and a lot of people up and down the valley are on a fixed income, older people. My Aunt Ann has paid on her house for 30 years. She owns it. She raised her children there. She asked me, Tom, are they going to take my house because I can't pay the property tax when they raise it? And that's a question you got to ask yourself. If you're going to vote for spending money in this county, whose money are you taking? And what are we going to do with that? The second thing I see is I see these developments that are huge developments as compared, and I don't really see any control in this county. I don't see anybody doing anything to make sure that the people of Marion County are okay after the development. I'm going to make a thing that maybe I don't know, but it's something I've heard, maybe don't know. I feel like some of these people come in here, they do this development, they make a few $1 million, then they don't live here, file bankruptcy, and they go away. If you want to see, they file bankruptcy and they close their building down. But the same people are just down the road a little bit further and doing the same thing again. Who's going to make sure that this is okay for Marion County? And if I am fortunate enough to be the mayor of this county, I think we have to start asking those questions. Whose money are we spending? What should we be doing? And the first question you want to ask was, what's the right thing to do? Okay? It is somebody's right to sell their property to anybody they want, and if you buy it, you have a right to do with that property you want. I personally raise cows on my property and cut hay. I would hate somebody to come in and say, you can't do that anymore, kind of thing. But I also am concerned to death that my kids will not be able to afford to live in this county. I hear stories from people from California who paid tens of thousands of dollars in property tax. They're here now because they can't keep paying that. I had a customer in Connecticut who said, I had to close my shop. I couldn't keep paying the taxes. That's a function of county government. We have to get our hands around that. If nothing else, for the people here who've been here and own the property already. Is that a good enough answer for you?
I think you did a great job. I think you did a great job. When we talk about the developments,
Excuse me just a moment. I have someone has asked a question in the comments and asked what your name was.
Hudson,
Tom?
Hudson.
Tom?
First name is Tom. My middle name's David, and there's a story behind that. When we get a chance, we'll talk about it.
Okay. Rick, go ahead.
Development can be good for the county because it does bring in a tax base.
Controlled development.
Okay. So your bigger concern from these, we'll say developers or developments, is when it goes south and then we're left holding the bag. Is that kind of the direction you're going with that?
So when you do something in a development, and let's just say what you do and it causes a problem for Marion County, you file bankruptcy, so you're not coming to fix what went wrong. You're going to leave that burden on the taxpayers of Marion County. That ain't right. How do we fix it? I don't know. But I tell you what, we need to get busy and find out. We have a county commission that has 15 people from all over this county. All 15 of those people need to be involved and feel the same way we do about doing the right thing. Is that happening? I don't know. But I do want to do something about changing the way things are now.
Okay. Planning Commission would be then making sure that subdivision regulations are equal. They're not where one is being treated different, but enforcing it to the letter of the law.
Well, a couple things. Currently, our chief person in this county, our mayor, appoints people to the Planning Commission. And you have to look at the names on those planning commissions and what has the Planning Commission done. All right? And that's something we want to look at. The thing we need more than anything is transparency in government. That you know who is, what is, and how did it get there. If we don't have transparencies, a lot of people in Marion County have no idea what's going on at the county. They know that well, I guess I have to pay more, or I have to do this. We need that transparency. The second thing is the Planning Commission has a fiducial responsibility to this county, all right? They need to make decisions that make sense for the county, not somebody, something. I don't want our county being the repository where we just give away money to rich people, rich corporations, because they say, oh, I'm gonna do development. I come from a place where a company came in and they said, oh, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z. If you give us this tax break, then we're gonna do wonderful things for you. You're gonna have development and money and just be coming out your ears. And they actually got a college professor to go in and do the work. And strangely enough, a paid college professor said, oh, look, it's gonna be worth millions of dollars to you if you only do what they want you to do. A year and a half later, none of that ever happened. They're gone, they got all the tax breaks, and the county got nothing. I don't know, is there a complimentary thing here in Marion County? I don't know, but we need to find that out. My apologies.
Now, how, if you have 15 commissioners, I mean, you realize you don't really have a vote.
No, it's not. The mayor is one part of government. The commissioners are a separate and distinct part, and you have to keep those two things separate, right? You can't have one person doing everything in the county. It doesn't work that way, because pretty soon you get a lot of things that aren't done according to Hoyle. So I sat at a county commission meeting, and we were talking about a budget override for a few $100,000. And instead of saying, we said, okay, everybody in favor say aye, and everybody opposed. So who voted for what? I don't know. Nobody else does either. But I did ask one of the commissioners who was there, said, did you vote for that? And he says, no, I didn't. Did you vote against it? No, nobody voted against it. So how is this happening so that we're voting by voice votes to spend money? All right, and it's okay, we'll wait.
Actually, it's somebody that would like to chime in.
Let's go,
Okay.
Please do.
We're gonna try something different. And I don't know how this is exactly gonna
Oh,
work.
boy.
This is a prior commissioner, Mr. Joey Blevins. So we're gonna see if this works or not.
Yeah,
So
we're going to give it a try.
let's see what happens here. Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Okay, we're experimenting with you. Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Fo-
Me too.
Yeah, so folks, this is a prior commissioner, Joey Blevins. He was the District 2, I don't know what seat you were in. What seat were you, Joey?
District 2, seat 8.
Okay. So again, we're giving this to try to make it so we're more interactive with our audience. Joey, you have a question for Mr. Hudson. Are you on yet?
Yeah, but like a dummy and trying to do these two different things. I'm back.
Okay. We got Ron Hudson, and he has announced that he's running for Marion County Mayor.
Tom Hudson.
Tom Hudson, excuse
Yeah,
me.
Tom Hudson.
When they forget your name right off the bat, ain't it?
And I apologize for that.
Ron just fell out of his chair.
Yeah. Tom.
Tom Hudson, yes.
Maybe I should change my name if he can remember one other than. All right.
So you have any questions for him?
Well, I've not heard what y'all said so far. I just got to my equipment here.
Okay.
But has he already gone over the relationship between a commission and what the mayor is in his view?
Yeah, actually Tom did, but go ahead, Tom.
See, the mayor has to be the executive branch of government, and he has to be limited to that branch. The commission are the judicial and the approving branch, very much like the United States Constitution, and they need to be involved in that. let the commission do what they're supposed to do and keep the mayor to do what he's supposed to do, which is somewhat different than what I'm hearing we're doing today.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. When we first started out, it was kind of that way. I remember that the mayor said that we were a team, and basically he worked for us because we took and allocated the funds. You can't do anything without the funds. And but it's kind of changed over time. I guess one reason being is that the commission doesn't have a lot of legal representation. The county attorney is pretty much paid for by even those county funds. That the mayor signs the check, and he's already said that he pretty much works for them. And if the next mayor, whether it be you or whoever, I do wish that the commission had equal representation with an attorney, because it cripples them being able to move forward. They don't know what they can do legally or anything, and I think it's tying the hands of the commission in ways if they don't have and see, there's a conflict also. It seems like, you've got the legislative branch and you've got the executive, and sometimes they're on a different page, and if you've got legal representation for one side, well, it might be skewed to not represent the other side as well. And I would hope that could change, or whoever gets in it, and you get in, I hope that would be a goal of yours.
Well, the only way to do that, though, is to have the county attorney as an elected position. Because right now the mayor hires and fires. We don't even confirm as a commission. So he indeed does work for the mayor, I would say. So how would you handle that?
I've heard the word county attorney, which to me says it should represent the county, not a person. Okay? Mr. Blevins, Tom Hudson here, not Ron.
Yes, sir.
This is Tom Hudson. And
Yes, sir.
how would you go about changing that relationship between the mayor, the county attorney, and the council?
Commission, yeah.
Well, they had an opportunity, I feel like, a while back for the county commission to approve whoever the county attorney is. And it was rejected by the commission. Because
was that
at least that would give them some input. The attorney would feel somewhat obligated to take care of them also if they could deny renewing his contract or whatever, and in future. But the way it is now, he's only beholden to the mayor.
Understand that.
And whether I don't know how it's got this way, but it needs change. It does cripple the commission. I've talked to numerous commissioners since I've been gone, and I see it myself. That needs changed. It does. I mean, how can you have a legislative branch and they're part-time? Every one of the commissioners is part-time.
Right.
And they don't have output access, or they don't go to and if they go to a seminar or something to get education, they get chided for it. So, but yet some folks can do whatever, nothing. They can go get all the training in the world every week if need be, and there's nothing said by the commissioner. That's a no-no.
Okay.
So, how are they supposed to operate?
I got a question for you, though, just real quick, because I don't want to bog you down there all night, but would it change if you knew who voted for what? Could that be a solution to deciding who voted for? Because you said somehow it changed, but I don't really know how. You're on the county commission. That disturbs me a great deal that you don't know how something that important got put into.
Well, it was authority creep. I guess
Okay.
you would call it. Some people give up more and more of their authority, and somebody will take more and more of their authority. Unless it's just like our rights.
Yes,
You
sir.
don't exercise them, you lose them. So, in that case, you're going to have folks that, like the commission, the commissioners all should demand good, solid, equal representation. Not that they're out here suing it, but they just need to know what they legally can do, what they can propose, not do, and not just rely on the mayor and the attorney that work together all the time to tell them what to do. They need to be able to make decisions for themselves. Or what's the purpose of having 15 people from different districts if they all have to just follow one line of thought? That makes no sense to me.
Okay.
Now, we do, as a commission, we do have the ability to vote to hire counsel for the commission. It just seems like we can't all get together to do that. And part of it, I think, has to do with the cost. So some of it's our own fault as a commission.
Well, at one of the county commissions I was there, the commissioners voted to just table something that I thought was fairly important, said, we're just going to put this off to later.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the later meeting, and it turned into kind of a free-for-all, where they finally, the county attorney said, look, we need to hire an outside counsel to deal with this, because you can't have a conflict of interest between me and the people in trouble. But it felt like you weren't getting represented as the counsel until finally somebody says, we're going to get an outside counselor. Is that a possible solution here in Marion County, that we start finding outside counselors to help us with this?
Well,
Do it, yes.
Hamilton County kind of went through something
Okay.
when they received a new mayor,
Let me put my arm on.
and yeah, I think so. But it's finding someone that's well versed in government issues,
Right.
and local county government issues is also a big thing. Attorney Gallagher is quite knowledgeable. He's been doing this a long time, and that's what it's going to probably take.
Okay.
And again, to the listeners, this is Joey Blevins. He was a former commissioner, and what we're trying to work with here is to see how we can get questions. I know you just got a question that seemed to work.
Yeah.
So
Actually, I just got what's your name? But I do have a question.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
I'm very excited about your technology background.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things that I would like to see in Marion County, because we have this wonderful internet access now because of Google, I would like to see some tech jobs brought in to the area that are higher paying.
Okay.
Maybe develop some technology here.
So, at Intel Corporation, we had to decide where to put factories.
Yes.
We put factories in Ireland, we put factories in Costa Rica, we put a new factory just now in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
All right? One of the things that goes to technology jobs is you have to have people coming out of high school with a requisite background to be able to take those jobs. Are we sure that we're getting the students out of there? Because when I left Whitwell High School, I was unable to compete effectively in a college environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
What should we do, or how can we do this? Because we need to have that. If you want technology jobs here, they're going to ask you about tax bases. They're going to ask you about government entities. What's the government doing? But then they're going to get to what's your workforce? Who's here? Okay? Most of my cousins either work at Veriform or Lodge, and most of those jobs, out of high school, they're going to make an hourly wage and have a job. But that's not going to bring the type of job that you want in this county long term. You're not developing those jobs. And until we start getting people who can do that. Now, I'm going to tell you a young lady that was on my son's soccer team at Marion County High School. She got a perfect SAT score.
Wow.
Yep. She went Harvard University, and is finishing at Harvard University. She has finished Harvard University. Can we get her back here? Because that's the kind of people we need to start pushing forward, kind of thing. I talked to my cousin Garrett, and he says, I don't know anybody who's an attorney. I don't know anybody who's a doctor. I do know people who work at Lodge. So we have to get to where people can compete effectively in college, or we send guys out of high school, women, kids, men, they go to college and they fail, and then they come back. And they come back with this feeling that I really can't do this. Education isn't for me. All right? How do we do that? We have to sit down with the school board and we have to decide. I hear all kinds of stories back and forth, but it's sooner or later you have to get down to data. What is it we're doing? What is it we're trying to do? Not what somebody in some union wants us to do or thing. I'm personally in favor of, I'm going to call it just choice in school. You want to send your children to a school? Send them to that school or this school. They shouldn't be forced into a school they don't want to be there and isn't performing for them. So I guess that's it.
You touched on the transparency issue. So transparency for the public, would you be willing from your website to do more as far as the commissioners get packets? It's a packet of what's going to be discussed at the next commissioners meeting. The public does not get to see that, so you're not able to be prepared as the public to ask questions.
I have asked for that packet several times. You don't get it. Okay? When you go to the commission meeting, they're going to say something. They're saying you're not allowed to speak at this meeting unless what you speak about is germane to the agenda. If you never got the agenda, you're not on the agenda. So guess what? You have no voice at the commission meeting. That's something that happens in this county almost every month, right? Would you be willing to? I think we have our third estate here, our fourth estate here. They can get that. That information exists. That's being published. Why can't we put it somewhere so it's recorded so you can see it? 3 months from now, I can see what we did in August. And anybody can see it. You want to see it? Please. There's nothing here in county government that should be hidden from the people in the county. All right? And then I hear all these issues with library issues and developer issues. None of that should be hidden. We need to know what's happening in our county. And that's what I mean by transparency.
So you'd be in favor of, on the website, before a commissioners meeting, that all of the information that they get would be on the site so people could be aware of what's going to be discussed.
Yeah, and the only caveat to that, if we're going to talk about somebody's employment,
that's different.
or something else, there's some of this stuff we need to keep to ourselves. All right? But if we're going to talk about, we're giving a variance to Joe so for digging a ditch somewhere across the highway, why can't that be on the website? And we keep saying the word website like it's the only way to get information. We have to start exploring every way. We had a gentleman here today that was 85 years old. He says he doesn't want the website. What he remembers is a paper, something that he could see. Maybe we have to do something a little bit more than we have in the past than just putting something on the website and hoping people see it. If you're the mayor, how about just go somewhere. Let's talk to somebody. I go to Whitwell First Baptist. I have a cousin who's a preacher at Church of God up in Whitwell. Let's go there. Maybe I should have that information with me. Say, hey, this is what we're going to be talking about. Anybody here want to do this? Come see us. Make an outreach as opposed to waiting for somebody. A lot of people don't have a website. They don't go to a website. And if they do, they do Facebook for 3 hours and they go to bed. People here work for a living. And I know that surprises some people, but people who work for a living, I've been a coach in girls softball, boys peewee football. You go to work, you come out and you coach a peewee team, you have dinner, you sit down. You don't really feel like a whole lot more. So let's go out to where they are. Let's go out and give that information to anyone who wants to hear it. And there's going to be people who don't, and there's nothing I can do about that. You lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. But just saying, well, I put it on the website, I'm done. That's not, I don't believe that that's the answer. Maybe I'm wrong.
So the things that we've covered so far, I've heard you talk about developers, subdivisions, that we need to get a better hold on that.
And corporations too.
Corporations too, okay. You did mention as well that you want, with your 60-acre farm, that you want to be able to give that to your son and daughter, and that they can enjoy that. How do you propose protecting that?
I don't know. I know that the one thing that we've proposed here in Marion County was almost universally voted down.
Mm-hmm.
People didn't want that. I have 60 acres that I've had for quite some time, and I cut hay, I take hay and feed it to my cattle. I want that for him because I taught him to work there. I taught him to show up and buck hay. I didn't have anywhere else I could get a young man to have to show up in the middle of the summer and pick up bales of hay. I thought that was important.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's going to have that opportunity. So how do we protect that rural environment? Well, first off, you have to decide what is controlled development. What do you want here? And that the commission has to sit down and as 15 people talk to their constituents in their districts and say, what is it you want? What is it you don't want? I heard a guy named Mangineri, and he asked a question and it's taunted me. He said, what do you people don't want? I'm here from California. What is it you're worried that I'm going to do? Do you know what you don't want?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We used to call that the no-no. There's some things you can't do, right? So what is it? As commissioners, you really have to understand what is it the people want. We are developing in this county 2 separate and distinct communities. We're developing, I'm going to call them the Highlands community,
Mm-hmm.
and we're developing, or have had down here, what I'm going to call the Old Home community. I don't believe we can continue forward under that kind of a divided thing without having serious problems. Where one wants this, one votes for this, and the other doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I came to Marion County. I'm in Marion County now. I could have went anywhere after I retired. I came here because I love it here. I love going to people here. I don't want to come to some place where we hate each other. So what do we need to do? Well, a lot of what people are unhappy with is who developed this community. The first thing you do, I'm from Marion County, and you put a gate to keep me out of that. It's a gated community. That's not the way you want to talk to your neighbors, your friends. You said, no, we don't want you here. Okay? So we need to be, but here, I go to commissions meetings, they say, oh, the newcomers are going to do this. I heard one guy tell me, I have to run because I don't want him, a Highland person, to get this commission. Is he the best person, the best trained person, the best person for this job? That never entered into it.
Mm-hmm.
It entered into he's from the Highland, so he must be bad. We need to heal that. We have to be a county. As a unified county, we can achieve a lot of things. If you want to have a split county, you will have developers come in here, they will take advantage of that split and do whatever they want to do. We need to stop. And, you know, I hate to say this, but we're going to act like people, not idiots.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Tony says his name is pronounced Mangiamelli.
Mangiamelli, manja, which is Italian for eat.
That's right.
Yep. Mangiamelli, is that lot? Melly lots? Eat lots?
I don't know.
Because he's still relative, but we're digressing. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
that's fine.
Mangiamelli, he said that to you
Yeah,
tonight?
he's put it in the comments. It's
Yeah.
Mangiamelli.
Mangiamelli, yeah?
So as a mayor, how do you propose to fix that?
You have to start doing inclusive events. If you're going to have a Republican meeting, let's have a Republican meeting where we're all included. And then let's do something. Remember when you was on the TV, don't throw things out, the Indian would cry? We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
We're not going to say, this person, a home person, all those. hillbillies, or we're not gonna say, oh, those Highlands people. You have to start doing something at that county level. As the mayor say, we don't do that. We're all Marion County people. I know some people don't like that. They really don't like that, but there's no other choice. Look up there. They're not going away. You're not gonna just bulldoze it and they're just gonna go away. So find a way to make this Marion County. And I think inclusive events.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Water. How are we gonna handle if we continue to grow at the level that we're growing? How are we gonna manage our water capacity?
I live on the Sequatchie River down past the airport. And I've watched that river go lower and lower and lower since 2005. It used to be my cattle couldn't leave my property and go across to the other property. Now you find them over there, they come over here. If you look now, there's dirt that you can walk across. My dogs can walk across. So we have a problem and we have to start acting like we have a problem. I had somebody say that we want to put an extra 5,000 homes in this valley. Okay, where does the water come from? TVA has been notoriously recalcitrant in putting a drinking straw into their Tennessee River. Now that might have to change, but that's political at a higher level. Our thing here has to be, what are we going to do for water? All right, what are the opportunities? Because there's a big aquifer that comes out. Jasper doesn't run off the Sequatchie River.
Runs off the Cave Springs.
Cave Springs, and it's beautiful cold water, and you can see where it used to come out. We used to put watermelons up there at Sequatchie because it was cold water. Pikeville, Dunlap, and Whitwell still at some level. Pikeville pulls out of the springs, but we're still pulling water out of the Sequatchie River. We don't control Dunlap and Pikeville. So here's a thought. You're going to have to use influence. You can't tell them what to do. You're going to have to influence. How are we going to influence? We have to make it so it's beneficial to everybody. Or you will have something imposed upon you by the state level, the federal level, TDEC, whoever that is. We have to start influencing our neighbors and decide how are we going to keep the water? How much water do we need and what are we doing with it? All right? I don't understand how we can keep adding development to this valley. I used to go up on the mountain years ago. There's no water up there. Where does that water come from? There's none up there at the Highlands. You can drill a hole if you want to, but there's just no water. All right? Why does somebody get to put in thousands of homes and have no water? Where does the water come from Etna Mountain? Does anybody know that?
Good question.
They're putting homes, they're putting development in there, they're selling lots, and nobody's telling me. So here's what I'm afraid of, and this is one of my big fears. Get a whole bunch of folks in there and then force the water issue on Marion County. Because now you have to do something, right? And we have developments that we have to do something, all right? I'm sorry for that. That's a digression, but I hate to think that we're that backwards, or that somebody has a reason for letting that happen, because they know right from wrong, and still we're going to let somebody put thousands of homes and there's no water? I don't know.
Okay. Before you go, got a comment here. The American Legion Hall Costume Ball is a free, all-inclusive Halloween event. Everyone is invited.
Super great idea.
Yeah.
American Legion, yeah.
All are welcome to come by, and she says she'll post a flyer.
Great. And it's a costume ball.
It is a costume ball. That's correct.
Okay. We got to be careful, right, James?
Tom, and
we can do this again.
okay.
We can do it.
The next time we meet, obviously this is an introductory.
Yes, sir.
To kind of get the public to get to know who you are.
All right.
I want to ask you, are you thick-skinned?
I've been married 42 years.
Okay, you're thick-skinned.
And I've been told things that would, yeah. I'll tell you the one thing I know. I know that I don't have the information and the education I need to be effective right now. I need to spend time working and learning about Marion County. Where does the money come from? How does this work? A lot of these things, there's some issues in this county that I don't understand. It is my job, if I want to be Marion County Mayor, to learn as much as I can. And that's something that I've had some experience doing, is learning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're fair game now. You put it out there, and I would say you're fresh meat. So I guess you better get used to it, because here it comes.
As a losing boys peewee football team in Whitwell, I think we won 3 games out of 8 or something. You're kind of fresh meat. I wasn't mistaken for Nick Saban anytime soon. And my dreams of parlaying that 8th grade team into an NFL career kind of went by the wayside pretty quick. You know who you are. People are going to say things about you, but as long as you know who you are and your faith is strong, you're going to be okay.
Well, Tom Hudson, I'm excited that you're running. I think it's great. I'm hopeful that the listeners were able to hear Commissioner Blevins, or prior Commissioner Blevins, so that we can do this more often. I don't know if there's, we'll have to look into the technology to make it where maybe multiple calls can come in virtually, and we can make it so people can ask questions of the folks that we're interviewing. But want to thank the audience as well, as Duke has already done. Looks like we've achieved 15,000.
15,000, big milestone.
Listeners. We're looking forward to having more candidates. This is not a Republican, Democrat,
No.
independent, or libertarian. We're seeking people that are honest with integrity to run. And we want to give them the opportunity to talk to you directly. So with that, I'll turn it over to...
Okay, and I want to thank everybody for listening tonight. The lady that was speaking about the American Legion Hall Costume Ball says it's October 28th from 4 to 8. So make sure you get your costumes out and go down and attend that. I want to thank everybody for streaming tonight and for joining us. Did you have something else to say,
Well,
Ron?
it's going to, as far as, I want to thank the Hudsons as well for allowing us to interview here.
Yes.
And they've got, Lord have mercy, an incredible selection of firearms here.
We're not doing this advertising. I want to do this because I need to start hearing and saying, so people know who I am and what I believe. Because at the end of the day, you vote for what a man believes and what you expect him to act as.
Okay.
Whether I do this or sell these, I could be gone tomorrow. This is temporary.
With that,
Okay. Well, thank everybody for streaming, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
And I believe I am going to be streaming a meeting on Monday night about SNAP benefits as well as TennCare and how the government shutdown is going to affect that. And then we will have another candidate on Tuesday night. And thank you for joining us, and please join us again.